Welcome to Boxing Fans Talk TV. We have an interesting show for tonight. I'm coming on at an unusual time. I normally do not do Saturday commentating or whatever, but this is an important subject, so I figure I'd do it on the weekend. And so I'm coming to you guys, and I'm gonna open. I'm gonna drop the link right away. For people to join in if they want to discuss. I don't know if I'll be talking by myself. I'm sure people will watch me after the fact, but I hope some people will join me or whatever. Again, I normally come on at a different time, but hey, I think this is appropriate. Anyway, we're going to get into that and much more, but first let's turn to Welcome back to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, TDT. You can refer to me as Miss T. As I already said, y'all see the thumbnail, a diabetes conversation, how to beat it. Jason Williams, I see you in the building, King. What's popping? He said, good evening, Miss T. Peace and blessings. I hope a lot of people catch on that I'm doing a show today, and this is a worthwhile conversation. Now, I either perform this as a lecture and just it's not gonna be long. I wrote things down so I don't ramble on, but or it's gonna be involved. I'm gonna drop the link right now so anybody who wants to jump in can jump in and discuss what they know. We can all learn from each other. I think it's a relevant conversation, so this is why I'm doing it. um, y'all know I come on Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, usually. Unless I ain't got nothing to talk about, unless it's not, it's some boxing news that's out there, but it ain't really worth getting into, and all that stuff. Um, this time we live in right now, it's like the pendulum is swinging back the other way. It's truth telling time. People are exposing people. We're getting to the bottom of things. And y'all know me, if you've been following me for a while, I don't hold anything back. I'm transparent as possible. For anybody that's listening, I am not going to talk around the subject. I'm going to get right to the point. When I learn information, I give it out, and it might be redundant to some folks, and some folks it might not be redundant. Even if I reach one person or five people, I done my job. Because, like I said, I always tell you guys, I wish I knew somebody like me that was in my ear when I was younger, because I would have probably made better choices and everything. When you know better, you do better. And that's just the bottom line of it. A lot of people, a lot of us in this country, we don't know a lot of things because they either give us information in a massive way, too much information, or they don't give you enough information, But however they give the information, you're not able to connect the dots. It's not that you're dumb or ignorant or anything like that. It's just it's all done by design. And there is an agenda to why do things like that, you know. It's an agenda to not give you all the information about health and wellness. In full transparency, I do have a health and wellness program. I call it Finding the Health in You. Is where I learn about you by a couple of questions that I ask. I am, you know, I do adhere to a privacy thing. Like, I don't divulge any information you give me, not even your email address. But I ask that you email me, and if you want help, you know, finding the health in you, then I'm all too willing to do that. I do charge. I just charge for my time and effort. Where I make up menus and different things to help fix certain things that you got going on. I don't play a doctor. I don't act like I'm a doctor, and I don't refute a doctor. But you know, I have learned certain things in my life just to help my own self. So I do that. You know, I get into that, and on my own time, I study real hard about, you know, different situations, illnesses, food, stuff that we doing to ourselves and we don't even know. So in this topic, we're going to be talking about diabetes. Now, I normally talk about drink your water, drink your water, drink your water. You know, I stand by that. I feel like 2024 and beyond, nobody, and absolutely nobody on this earth should have a water problem. Not even animals. I hope that they don't have water problems. Your body is made up of 70% to 75% water, and you shouldn't have a water problem. So I'm not going to go into that whole spiel. My email is boxingfanstalk@gmail.com. That's boxingfanstalk@gmail.com. Feel free if you want to donate. The only thing I have is Boxing Fans Talk TV as a cash app. That's Boxing Fans Talk TV as a cash app. But like I said, I give this information free. Now, if you're a poor individual, if you're a person of less means, one thing we know about the medical entity in America, especially, and I'm talking to Americans, I'm thinking, but this goes for people in other countries too, is there's money in healthcare. You know what I'm saying? There's money to be made, and so the poorer you are, the less you're gonna get information, the less you're gonna know, and that's unfortunate. Um, they do just enough to check the box. You know, certain things that everybody should get done, like you should get an in-depth analysis of allergies. You know, an allergy test, a more in-depth allergy test, not the basic, easy one that a lot of people you're gonna miss. You know, the more in-depth stuff about that person if you do the basic. You should do an in-depth one so you can know what are your allergies, so you know what to stay away from. Because if you're allergic to something, you're gonna have some medical issues by coming in contact with them. But when you poor, you don't get those type of physicals. Another thing you should get tested for, and especially nowadays, and it wasn't prevalent back in the days when I was born, is you should be tested to see if you suffer from autoimmune disorders, because that is so rampant and prevalent in this world. And what I understand about it is that anybody could have it, but there will be some people that can go their whole life and it not be activated, but some might not be so lucky. Anyway, when you talk about the industries and all that, the food industry, the health and fitness industry, the exercise industry, other type of companies, their job is to make money for their company. Their job ain't to help you avoid some of the things they want to do. You know, you got companies that's polluting waterways and polluting the land and all that. They don't care. They don't give a care, or it will appear that they don't give a care about the effects that it will have on the citizens surrounding that area. Then you got the food industry. They just care about you being a repeat offender as far as buying their products. They don't care what it does to you. And a lot of these companies knew back in the 1800s what this toxins that they releasing amongst us, or the food, the processed food, and what it's doing to us. They knew this stuff back then. They had it mapped down to percentages even. They know that 80% of the population gonna eat this food, even though it's endangering them. They know that it's gonna be such at a slow pace that it's gonna get missed. And they also know that 20% maybe is gonna find out very fast and have major illnesses, even fatal. Um, and they be like, the risk is worth it. Long as 80% don't know and they keep buying the products, i.e., repeat offenders, they don't care. And we can't wait for them not to care. And if we know stuff, we need to say stuff. Don't hide it. Sometimes I'm telling you, it could take you years. You can go on a campaign of really trying to find out stuff, and it's like finding a needle in a haystack. And that's the story that I've been through. And like I said, I wish it was somebody in my ear telling me certain things. I would have made better decisions in life. Okay. So let's get into it with this diabetes. Jason Williams said it's sad they're incentivizing to keep certain folks sick or in poor health. Exactly. They already know, Jason, that some people is just going to have that reaction and some people not. And you're going to see it's going to be crazy because you could be in a family like mine's, a family of 3 kids. I was the only one that had these reactions, not my sister and brother. So how does my mother look at me and say, I might not want to make her these foods. I might not want to feed my children these things because look what it's doing, to my daughter. There's no way for her to know it unless she's educated on certain things. And why tell them? We used to be a nation where doctors or doctors in general used to be the type of field where they will try to fix the problem, but then they move to let's fix the solution. Not the solution, the symptoms, and then going for just relieving or alleviating the symptoms. You're not fixing the problem, so the problem never goes nowhere. And it's a simple fix, but you'll never know because there's not no money in it. And I'm not even trying to beat up, these corporations and companies. I'm just saying sometimes we got to be the, tellers of the truth and tell our own people and let it spread like wildfire, like, by word of mouth, gossip or whatever. It's easy to believe a lie. It's hard to believe the truth because the truth is boring and the lie is more exciting. And even an omission is a straight up lie because you're not telling everybody what they need to hear. So keep that in mind while you're listening to this program. As I say, I dropped the link, so if you want to link in and talk about it, you can. I'm going to drop some straight up facts when it comes to diabetes. Now, a lot of you guys don't know or didn't know. Yeah, education is key, Jason. You say you're doing your part. Exactly. If one person, Jason is in here listening, if one person that I did my job, I'm not going to sit here and learn something and not tell everybody. It's hard for me to connect dots. So I can only imagine most people how hard it is. And I'm like knee deep in medical, information and stuff. I like to talk to my doctors in a way that if they was talking to a peer, like if the doctor was talking to a peer of theirs, I'm going to keep up with your conversation. Don't break it down in layman's term or break things down to me like you would a child, because how can I grow from that? How can I learn? I've done a lot of research and analyzing things, informally and formally. I've taken anatomy classes. I'm not saying I'm a doctor. I got good grades in anatomy and physics and statistics. I'm a good student. I'm a smart gal. And I geek things out. And I'm not ashamed of that. And a lot of times, geeks and nerds, they're boring. But you need those nerds and geeks in your life because they're going to do the work that you're not going to do. And they're going to find out the things that you're not going to find out. And I don't like walking around, like, I got my shit together, and people like, how you do that? How you do that? And I don't tell, and I just keep it close to my vest. Come on now. Come on now. It's for all of us to know. So, like I said, anytime you have a question, put it in the chat or sign in and give your testimony, because I can learn from you too. As much as I know, I still can learn. I'm probably going to be recommending a product. I'm not going to give the product name because there's so many different products out there like this one. But I highly recommend it. They don't pay me to say their name. When they decide to pay me to advocate their specific name, then I will. But I'm going to give you enough information for you to know what product I'm talking about. Okay? So that's what I'm going to start off with. But before that, I'm going to get in a little brief thing. I'm going to show you guys a picture. Hold on, I'm getting... anybody looking at me on other social medias like Facebook or anything, if you want to join in, you got to come through YouTube and join in. You got to come through the YouTube and join in. And so that's the only way I'm going to see that you hear and see your chats or your words or concerns. And like I said, we can chop it up, but I guarantee you, you're going to learn something today. A lot of you didn't know that I was sick last year. I was really, really sick. Like, really, really sick. I kept that one close to the vest because I couldn't explain it. I didn't understand why I had it. Here I am. I'm not doing nowhere near what people doing. I'm drinking water. I'm avoiding certain toxic foods. And I got it. So I couldn't explain it. And like normally, whenever I'm going through a medical issue, I share as I go. I don't mind doing that. I'm not embarrassed about it. I share as I go. But I know seeing is believing. I'm coming to the realization, and I should have hit this mark a long time ago. Seeing is believing. I can tell you how to get fit, how to lose weight, everything, and I'm good at it. You hear me? I'm good at this shit. I work with boxers. I've worked with a lot of people, and everything I said worked. However, if I can't do it for myself, then who gonna listen to me? And that's what I had to realize. But I thought people could understand when I tell them there's certain organs that I don't have that you guys have that acts as a barrier for me accomplishing certain goals. Like if I wanted to be real slender, I don't think I can. I had my thyroid removed. I don't even have one. So I might can't do what you could do, but it is successful on a small scale that is successful for me. I'm going to show you guys a picture. This is me about a month before I had my diabetes, like weeks before I had my diabetes, full-blown diabetes. You don't be paying attention. You getting sick, you're not looking at the telltale signs. Now that I look back, I was like, man, I was thirsty as hell back then. I kept drinking soda, water, and I don't really drink sodas, but for some reason I was drinking sodas and water. I couldn't get enough. I'm going through 5 gallons of water in like two or 3 days. Like I'm just like, I could not get enough. Look how fluffy I am. I'm trying to be nice to myself. Look how fluffy I am. You can see rashes around my eyes. Like I tell you guys, I have eczema, and I'm always breaking out and stuff like that. But yeah, I was going through it. I weighed a lot too. I was blowing up, and I didn't even see it because, again, I'm not eating. I'm going by what the CDC says or the FDA and all the good information out there in the food pyramid, all the good stuff that they tell you. I'm doing it. I'm absolutely doing it, and it ain't working. So, yes, diabetes caught me off guard, but this was the one thing that I had that, hey, what's up, ATL?
Oh, look at the queen now. Oh, shit.
Looking fluffy, right?
Look at the queen.
So hold on. This is the one disease that I got that I it came out of left field. I could not understand it. But y'all know I'm gonna geek it out and everything. So that was me a month before I had my diabetes. That was like September, and I went into full diabetes in October. The like towards the end of October.
Mm-hmm.
This is me today. See a difference?
No, my TV's slow as hell. Hold on. My TV's slow as hell. I'm looking at my phone. You lost some weight?
Hell yeah. This was like, yeah, I know your thing's slow, but I showed y'all the fluffy picture of me a month before the diabetes last year. Not even a month, some weeks before. And this is me today. I was in the gym. You can clearly see I lost a lot of weight.
So
I've
that means
lost 45 pounds.
yeah. See, that means you listen to me drinking your water and stuff.
No, not quite. Not quite. I listen to you
drinking the
some
water though.
me and you both agree on a lot of things, but some things we don't.
I'm just talking about the
Jason,
water.
Right. I mean, but yeah, I advocate water, you know, and
Exactly.
you do too. And so we agree on that. But it caught me off guard, and I didn't talk about it because, as I said earlier, seeing is believing. I don't, you know, even though I know what I be talking about, but a lot of people can't take you seriously if they don't see that you did it yourself.
Exactly.
And the diabetes was one of them diseases that was kicking my ass. It really set me down. I did not like the feelings of having high sugar. I do not like the feeling of having low sugar. I don't like either war, you know, but it was also scary. Jason Williams says slimmer. Yes, Jason. 45 pounds down. Since you might as well say November 1st. Because all this happened to me in like last week of October last year. And again, I didn't share with you guys because I didn't know why I had it. When, you know, I do everything I told y'all I normally do, I was doing. And it was recommended. I was like, God damn, what's going on? So when I dig into the weeds and I learn about diabetes and all that stuff, let me go down the list. And we're gonna get into the weed because I know ATL, he has some things to say about it. But first off, let me recommend a product to everybody out there. I don't care if you got diabetes or not. I recommend that you get a sensor, you know, those sensors that you put in the back on the side of your arm that can tell you what your blood sugar is minute by minute. I recommend you get it, whether you got diabetes or not. And I'm gonna tell you why. It checks your sugar minute by minute. It gives a graph with highs and lows color coded. Also, why that's important, because you will understand better that your sugar needs to be between 80 and 180. Anything over 180 is considered high. Anything under is considered low. And both of those over and unders have red lines or whatever on the graph that I'm using on. Because what you do is you get the sensor, you put it in your arm, and then you can, how do I say it? You can track it like with your phone. So that's why I recommend it. Dan Tan is in the building. What's popping, King? He said, Queen T, salute. Dan Tan said, ATL. Our money is in the building. What's popping? We talking about diabetes and everything. So also with this sensor, you can add notes when you do calculate your sugar and all that stuff, what you ate, what you was doing at the time. It shows if you are trending up or down. So even though a number would come up, it'll have arrows pointing like we not done going up, or we not done going down. Or if the arrow points straight across, that means this is the number we done. We hit our mark. It's good for weight loss. So anybody out there in the world who's looking for something that's not that expensive to help you with weight loss, you should get this sensor, because guess what? It's going to tell you It's going to tell you what foods like you. You may like a food. Remember how Eddie Murphy say, I know what it is I like, but I want to know what it is that you like. It's going to tell you what foods like you. You might like a food, but it might not like you. And you're going to see in how high your sugar jumps up. There's some things I'm going to eat that jumps my sugar up way high. And there's some things I'm going to eat that don't jump my sugar up hardly at all. But it have the opposite effect for a person B or person C or whatever. So this sensor I'm recommending to everybody because mainly it teaches you what food you should stick with. Anytime my sugar went up when I ate a food, I didn't eat that food no more. I was like done. I was like, nope, I'm not eating that no more. Now I'm gonna say this, and this is the part where me and ATL is gonna disagree. Diabetes is not a sugar disease as you may think. I'll repeat, diabetes is not the sugar disease that you may think. It's just simply not. Info is misleading when it comes to diabetes, and people, for the most part, will not be able to connect the dots. Why or what's the purpose for not being able to connect the dots when there's all this free information out there and they don't keep a secret? It's they don't want you to connect the dots for a good reason. And the end, I'm gonna say it simply as saying money. It's too many businesses and industries out there. The money is not in the cure. The money is in you buying insulin, you buying metformin, you buying diabetic socks, you getting a gym membership, you exercising, you buying exercise equipment, you doing everything that they tell you you need to do when it comes to diabetes. But and then the food pyramid, the nutritional thing, of course, that's gonna go the way they do to prop up the industries. They're gonna say the nutritional factors, they kind of truthful, but they're not, because there's a better way and doctors know it. But you will find some doctors out there that don't actually know it. Money is the root of all the evils. It's the culprit of everything. All the meds that the doctor can give you over the counter or that they give you themselves, it goes against the grain for them to teach you the right way and the one that works. Huh?
I said the natural way.
Yeah, it'll go against the grain. And I mean, these are $1 billion industries that I'm talking about. You think they want to lose $1 billion? They're not happy being millionaires. They want to be billionaire and trillionaires. I mean, I don't know how much money one person can have in their lifetime. You can't take none of that shit with you. But that's how they feel. So I say money is the root or the culprit for why people are not connecting the dots, because it's not meant for you to connect dots. When these companies come out with their products and meds, they already calculated that 20% of the population is going to falter and have big problems and even become fatal for them. They don't care about that 20%. They care about the 80%. It is the American way. How do you say it on New Jack City? It's the American way. It's called capitalism. And I ain't even mad at them. I'm not even mad at them. And I don't want you guys to take from my conversation like I'm mad at them. Now let's get to the Western world. When I say Western world, I'm talking about all on this hemisphere: North America, America, South America, Mexico, all the middle part of South America and North America. I'm talking about UK and all these type countries. That's the Western world. They'll give you all the information. It's not a secret, but they'll give it to you either in a massive way, and they won't connect the dots for you. You have to do that. Let me repeat that. They will never connect the dots for you. You have to do that. They give you in a way that's confusing. So if you get a lot of information and you don't put it together, it becomes confusing. You don't know which way to go, right? Poor folks, the poorer you are, will not receive complete and in-depth physicals. They never will, or wellness check. They give you the basic, check the box off, Yeah, we did a wellness check on them. Yeah, we checked a couple of things, the basic things. They ain't gonna give you the whole Monty, cause you're poor. They can't make no money off you. Again, it comes back to the money. There's two types of diabetes. You got type 1, that's the one you're born with. And you got type 2, the one you cause. Now, why you cause it? It could be a lack of knowledge, misleading information, or never warn your pending doom. Okay? Now, type 2 can be reversed. Type 1 you're going to have for the rest of your life. Now, it's a tomato argument when it comes to if type 1, we know they have classified it as an autoimmune disorder. Type 2, tomato. They haven't really said it yet. Some say yes, some say no. Do we know what autoimmune disorders are? Yes, we do. Autoimmune disorders are a condition where your body attacks itself. It attacks itself. Like people with psoriasis and eczema, those are byproducts of their body attacking something that wasn't there. And the rash is the byproduct because, energy is never wasted or stored. You know that, right? But that's what that is. And it's all due to having an overactive immune system. And if you have any kind of skin disorder, 9 times out of 10, you have asthma. Even if you never had an asthma attack, or if you had asthma and never had a skin disorder, just know that you have them. Also know if you have a skin disorder or asthma, put it in your head right now, you have autoimmune disorders. Now remember, there's levels to this shit. Some people, that's all they may have. Some people like me, it's a nonstop train. Some autoimmune disorders you don't get until you turn a certain age. Like I have rheumatoid arthritis. I don't have it that bad. I don't have it so bad enough to complain about it, but I have it. So I have a mild case of it, and that shit is painful, but it don't happen often enough for me to really lodge a complaint or go on a campaign to do something about it. But here's the thing. I never would have got it in my 20s, 30s. I got it in my 40s. I never would have had it as a kid because that type of arthritis don't really come on people until they're in their 40s. Years from now, you will see that people getting it in their 30s. But for me, I never was going to get rheumatoid arthritis until I got it, which was in my 40s. So I didn't even see that coming. But that's one of my autoimmune disorders. Like I said, I have an overactive immune system. That's another one. You would think that's yay, because I don't catch nothing. I don't catch things too much. Even when it comes to STDs, I hate to say never, because I don't want to tempt fate. But I don't catch nothing. My immune system is that much overactive. It's severely overactive. If you want to visualize what I'm talking about, think about them people with a high metabolism.
Yep,
They can eat. They can eat anything. See, he said that's him. Eat anything. Don't really gain no damn weight. You be like, wait a minute. I look at a cake. I done put on 2 pounds. You know what I'm saying? I look at weights and I done gained a muscle. You know what I'm saying? That's how I am. But when it comes to immune system, my shit is betting 1,000. I beat shit down. I don't ever catch nothing. Every time I'm sick, it's something that my body did to myself. Even I remember I'd be around people when I was in the Navy. People would have pink eye and shit, highly contagious. Pink eye is highly contagious, and they would have it bad. All in the office touching shit. I'd be like, man, if it's left up to me, I'm sending them home. But the boss, they be like, you can't send them home just for pink eye. They all around the office touching shit. We coming behind them touching shit. Guess what? Miss T never caught pink eye. Some years later, 7, 8 years later, I get pink eye. I go to the doctor. He said, yours is allergy based. And I said, what that mean? He said, nobody gonna catch yours. My daughter didn't catch it. Nobody around me caught it. And like I said, pink eye is highly contagious. Mine was allergy based. I was in an environment when I was taking an anatomy class, and the smells of that ammonia and whatever else we was using in there, it got to me and caused me to, for some reason, to get pink eye. I ain't like how that felt. It feels like pink eye. It feel like the regular pink eye, but I wasn't going to spread it around to people because it was allergy based. My body reacted that way and did that to me. So that's what it means to have a overactive immune system. I also got hypothyroidism. You know, the type of autoimmune disorders of that is you got Crohn's, lupus, Graves, Hashimoto's, hypo and hyperthyroidism, a lot of them. You know, I had hypo, which I had a goiter in mine, and that was 25 years ago, and they removed it. So I don't even have the metabolism like y'all do. I don't even make it naturally. You know what I'm saying? I take pills to simulate the of my body releasing T4 cells or whatever. It's synthetic pills that I take. But T4 is a living thing. The pills I'm taking is not. T4 makes it to its destination and then it converts into T3. Well, if I'm taking fake pills, like synthetic pills, my T4 would never turn to T3. T3 is the metabolism. Before it gets absorbed into your body, into your cells, that's what T4 has to turn into, T3. I never go through that process. That's why I say I don't have metabolism. I don't make it. Y'all do, but I don't. So it just, you got to deal with a whole lot of different stuff. And like I said, I'm calling the ball. As far as I'm concerned, type 2 diabetes is an autoimmune disorder. Type 1 is classified as an autoimmune disorder. So why not type 2? Why wouldn't that be one? I'm calling it that it is. But you have people, some doctors say yes, some doctors say no. So I'm being honest with y'all on that. So let's break down the reasons or the barriers when it comes to diabetes. You got lack of knowledge. You don't know what it really is. Some people just really don't know what it is. Then you got misleading information. You get too much information dumped, and then you don't have no way to connect the dots. And then when people develop a consistent or consensus narrative of misleading information or whatever, nobody comes around and say, wait, whoa. Let me correct y'all on that. Let me rectify y'all. There will never be somebody to come in and correct that. I'm going to give an example, simply put. You know how we call Democrats liberals? The true definition of a liberal is a Republican. You have to go do your research and get in the weeds of things. But you know why I don't bark up that tree? It ain't worth it. If y'all want to call Democrats and liberals, keep calling them that. It feels good. It makes sense. It's an easy way to attack Democrats and all that stuff. It makes good news. But technically, if you took a political science class, you will learn that the true definition of a liberal fits Republicans, not Democrats. But that's tomato. I'm not trying to get a bark up that tree. And then the never warned. If it's an autoimmune disorder and you don't know that you have autoimmune disorder, then you won't know that you are predisposed to getting stuff like diabetes. A lot of people think it's hereditary. It's hereditary that you can be predisposed to autoimmune disorders. My mama is the one who has autoimmune disorder. And I had it as a kid. My sister and brother don't. But my mama never, ever, ever had any illnesses or disorders from it until she was my age now. That's when we found out it's you. But before that, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Body worked fine. Got a lot to do with the different times we were born in and how she grew up eating versus how we grew up eating. My generation came in kind of sort of cooking the old school way and not that much processed. But by the end of the decade, processed food was in effect. It was in effect and it was rampant in America. And you can date processed food all the way back to the first TV dinners, which is coinciding with TVs. TV came on the scene for the common household in 1951. Shortly after that, people was advertising, or advertisers were advertising TV dinners. That ain't nothing but processed food. But anyway, and that processed food gonna be the death of us. And just because you don't see it happening to you, it don't mean you're not catching danger to it. It just levels to this shit. It's just levels to it. And there's a simple approach to reversing it. But you got to let go of some of the myths or the previous beliefs when it comes to diabetes. And this is where a lot of us would differ and what we think and all that. Like, I'm going to say my piece and ATL going to say his piece. And y'all can choose how you want to believe it or not. All I can tell you is I geek shit out. I went into the weeds. I've taken anatomy classes 1 and 2. I did this, and I'm going to tell you, I beat this motherfucking shit. And I ain't think I was going to beat it. Most illnesses I get, I don't beat it. I beat this one. And let me go back to showing my picture. Let me go back, because seeing is believing, right? Me before the diabetes. 3 months ago, only 3 months ago. Me now. What everybody know what your A1C should be? I'm going to ask that question first before I start. ATL, do you know what your A1C should be?
I want to say between 5.7 and 6.1. Between that range.
Well, yeah, you kind of right, but I was told 7 is normal. Have you ever heard that?
No.
I was told 7 is normal.
I was pre-diabetic at 5.9.
So yeah, you can be. So listen, everywhere you go in the country, people gonna use different guidelines. It depends on the hospital you with and who you rolling with, what guideline they gonna use. The one I'm rolling with,
type 1, your type 1 goes to like 7.
Nah,
7.1 or something like that. You know, the different types that go up.
There's different guidelines for different hospitals, and y'all can research that. If I go to Virginia, they may say
I know that. I know that
6.5 is normal range. If I go to New York, they may say 5 is normal. Who knows?
Basically what the doctor want to say.
Yeah, it's based on where you at and the doctor you seeing. But every baseline that they give you that they say is normal is true. Anything above the maximum that you ever heard, you will never hear them say 8 is normal.
I wish I could find one of my papers to show you. I got one somewhere.
But like I said, his doctor told him that. My doctor told me 7 is normal. So I went into the last week of October last year, 3 months ago, went into the hospital. And shout out to my older sister. She saved my life. I'm going to give her the credit because we was FaceTiming. And she said I went into a mumbling daze or something. And she was yelling my name. And I wasn't responding. So she called my mama 3-way. And they were both yelling at me and I wasn't responding. And then next thing you know, my daughter shows up at my doorstep. And that's what snapped me out of it. My daughter took me to the hospital. This was last October, y'all. The end of October. You might as well say November, October. Last week in October. She took me to the hospital. I immediately was checked into ICU. They started me on the drip of insulin and whatnot. I came in there with an A1C of 13. My sugar number was 798. True story. I stayed in the hospital for a whole week. I wound up having emergency surgery, but that's another story. I didn't want to bring that up in here because it'll confuse things. But I wound up having emergency surgery. And so I stayed about a week. When I came home, I was sent home with 4 pens of insulin. 1 to take before each meal and 1 to take at night. That's 24 hour long, long lasting and fast acting. I wasn't home 2 weeks before they pulled me off for the fast acting. Why? Because my sugar was dropping. I never experienced a drop in sugar. My sugar was dropping rapidly, and I didn't know why. I followed their directions to the T, except what I chose to eat. They say you got to eat 3 times a day. I ate 3 times a day, and normally I don't. I follow my own thing about water. I always go for 100 ounces of water per day because I don't care what program you get into. If you don't include water, the shit ain't gonna work. So I did that. I did the 3 times a day, but I ate differently. Okay. So that's what I always say. First off, I don't care what program. If you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to do whatever. If you don't include water and the proper amount of water per day, your program or campaign ain't gonna work. Secondly, I had to pick some foods that I had to avoid. It wasn't simple as let me stay away from all the sugars. Let me stay away from counting calories or whatever, and that's gonna do it. I know a lot of people out there that got diabetes and been managing diabetes for years and years and years, and they just consider it a way of life. Why? Because they have not connected the dot. I knew before I even had diabetes. I knew this years ago. One thing I know, first and foremost, everything you eat turns to sugar. I don't care who tells you something different. I know this for a fact. Everything you eat, no matter what it is, it turns into sugar. I also know in order for your body to absorb nutrients, and nutrients are vitamins and minerals, in order for your body to absorb it, it comes in the form of sugar. That's why you have a pancreas, right? So, and let me give y'all a little animation. I'm almost coming to the end. I'm going to give the floor to you, ATL. But let me give y'all a little animation of how this works. Imagine if your cells, the one that carry blood, oxygen, it carries water, all that to all your vital organs. That's what your red blood cells do. Those are the things you have to fuel. Those are the things that need nutrients. Imagine that the blood cells are the club. Imagine a bouncer standing in front of the club. Okay? Everything you eat turns to sugar. You want to absorb that sugar so that your body can function. But in order for the sugars that you just ate to get into the club, they got to come 3 at a time, accompanied by one sugar molecule, that's insulin, from your pancreas. So if you ate a cheeseburger and that cheeseburger yielded 9 total sugar molecules, your pancreas will create, because it'll recognize it's in your bloodstream, your pancreas will create 3 insulin molecules, 1 for every 3. So it's 4 people ponying up to the bodyguard or the bouncer in front of the club. Remember, the club is the cell, the bodyguard is out front. Now, you know the bodyguard, the bouncer, whoever, what's the first thing they do when you try to get in the club? They check your ID. So the bouncer is going to check the 3 sugars and the 1 insulin molecule's ID. They know that the insulin molecule is legit, and the insulin molecule is holding the VIP pass, because the insulin molecule is the key to unlock the cell so that the other sugars can get in. So now the bouncer goes to check the ID of the 3 molecules of sugar, and they fake. You can't come in the club. If they real sugars, you can come in the club. But if it's fake, you can't come in the club. And if you don't use sugar, you either excrete it, with your waste, or it turns into fat, adipose tissue. That's what it turns into. And that's how people gain weight, woo-de-woo. Because sugar is the energy or the fuel needed. This is the fuel that's needed to get energy. So every time, like I said, 3 molecules of sugar, 1 molecule of insulin, come up to the club, the bouncer check that ID. If it's real sugar, you got the insulin molecule with you, yes, y'all can come in. And y'all can go to the VIP section. If it's fake sugar, you can't come in. You can't come in. Until you eat something that's real sugar, i.e. foods from the ground, you're not getting in. So, like I said, everything in your body turns to sugar. And that's the basic breakdown of how your foods that you eat work with your pancreas, right? And most people, when they get diabetes, they just manage it, right? But I know, and I've said for 2 years now, we are not carnivores. We are herbivores. I never said that human beings cannot eat meat. And I never said that human beings are not resilient enough to eat meat. I'm saying we were not designed to eat meat. And then you will have guys say, well, what about the bulkiness, Miss T? What if I want big muscle? Ask Timothy Bradley. He was a straight vegan, and look how cut up he was and big. You don't need to eat meat. You can go your whole life and never eat no kind of meat and be fine. All the nutrients that you ever need will be found in foods that come out the ground, and to include protein. But people don't believe that. They won't accept it. They won't believe it. So back to me. When I came home, I said I was going to beat this shit before I talk about it. I'd rather, be about it than talk about it. And now I can safely tell you guys, I was about that shit. I've reversed my type 2 diabetes. Let me repeat that. I reversed it, and I did it in 3 months. Why? I came home and there was 2 things that was completely off limits to me. Meat and dairy. Meat and dairy. Most people, I knew this. Some people, y'all not going to agree, but most people get diabetes because of the meat they eat and the dairy. And dairy ain't nothing but sugar. I don't care how you slice it up, dice it up, whatever. But meat is acidic. Yeah, it got protein, but you can get the protein from vegetables and fruits. You don't need meat to get that. So I cut out meat and dairy. Now, there was only one dairy that I couldn't completely cut out, and that was cheese. Okay? But everything else I cut out. I did no sodas. My cheat days would be sweet tea or lemonade. And not more than like 8 ounces of it. I did that. I watched as I dropped a pound or 2 pounds a day for days upon days upon days. You mean to tell me I just started going to the gym 2 weeks ago? Up until that point, all the weight I lost was just by what I was eating. I stopped eating meat and stopped eating dairy, and I reversed my type 2 diabetes. Now, note, remember this, and then I'm going to turn it over to ATL. Humans need fuel to have energy. When you eat, you should not be tired. If you eat and you're tired, you ate the wrong things. Those are telltale signs. It should give you energy. The fuel that you need is called nutrients. That's vitamins and minerals. Nutrients needed are mainly found in the food that grows out of the ground. We are herbivores, not carnivores. The brain runs off of sugar, and the body runs off of sugar. And everything you eat turns into sugar. When it's broken down into its finite, solid or whatever, it's sugar. It might have came in your mouth as a cheeseburger or a toast or some other kind of food, but when it is broken down to this nutrients, it turns into sugar. Only real sugar can be absorbed and used by your body. The rest is either turns into fat or adipose tissue, or is excreted with your bowels. 2 main types of foods to stay away from is meat and dairy. And why don't they fully explain that to you? Because they know you won't read a book and you won't learn it yourself. They also know you don't have a real clue as to know how the body works and possibly are not interested in knowing. They also know you won't let go myths. You hang on to the myths. Lies are more sexier. Truth is boring. And that's how people live their lives. They know they can lie to you and you will accept it with no rebuttal. They repeat customers. That's what they look for, repeat customers. And this is why you being lied to. Because I need you to buy them Cocoa Puffs all the time. I don't need you protesting Cocoa Puffs. I need you to continue to buy them. So why should I tell you that that shit is highly dangerous for you and fucking you up in the long run? Why should I tell you that the only milk you should be drinking is the milk that you got from your mama breast? Why should I tell you that? Why shouldn't I tell you that at 8 years old the enzyme needed to break down dairy is gone from the human body? Why would I tell you these things? So, because I want you to buy the dairy products. You know what I'm saying? If milk is supposed to put fat on a baby and a baby cow is born at 90 pounds, the baby cow within a year should get up to approximately about 490 or to 500 pounds. What the fuck you think that milk gonna do to you? But I digress. Nobody, I feel like I'm open to whatever, but at the same time, I was right. I took the approach. I took the approach based on what I read. Your body runs off sugar, and you got to cancel the meat and the dairy out, and you'll get rid of diabetes. I did it in 3 months. Anybody know anybody that did it that quick? Let it be known. Come up on here, pull up. But I'm gonna turn it over to you, ATL, and you say what you gotta say.
Well, a lot of the stuff you said is true. I can't disagree on that. And I'm gonna tell you what I was taught. Um, just like I told you, I was pre-diabetic. I wasn't fully diabetic, and my number, I want to say was, I want to say 5.7 or something like that. And then, but I think when you get to like 6.1, then you was considered type 1 diabetic.
No, no, no. I hate to interrupt. I don't want to interrupt, but we don't want to put out bad information.
No, no,
Type one is what you born with. That's
yeah,
yeah.
but I guess I was getting close to that. So,
Type
um,
two, you can't never. If you wasn't born with it, you'll never have type one. You can get type two. We all can get type two, but if we were not born with type one, and that is something that they will check at birth most of the time, you will never have type one. But
but
all of us can, dependent. Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt, but
my
I don't want
doctor,
us to.
no, you good. The doctor had just like you said, it was the ACL level or something like. I got a
A1C.
yeah A1C, so I got a my chart. So I've been having my chart for like at least 10, 12 years. And so I had these doctors that I was going to, like my primary care for like maybe 6 years, and I get my physical every year. But then nobody ever explained, what that stuff meant until I got with my doctor I'm with now. And he was telling me I basically been borderline diabetic for like 6 years. So put me on the keto diet, the keto diet, because it consists of just meats and vegetables, no carbs, but no bread, nothing that can no carbs that basically could turn into sugar. Like carbs, because carbs turn into sugar. Per every 3 grams of carbs is a gram of sugar. So it's basically just straight meat, no carbs, just meat, vegetables, uh, no sugar, period. You know what I'm saying? So just like you said in the first, I want to say 3 months, like I lost 30 some pounds. My lady lost 47 pounds in 3 months. You know what I'm saying? No exercise, no nothing, just eat meats and vegetables and not drinking like non-sugar drinks. Like we drink Propel. That's like a good water to drink if you got the not I ain't gonna say artificial sugar, but it's got like a little something that will replace the sugar. You know what I'm saying? But what I was told by my doctor, man, and he even every time I go, if I have an issue or I tell him what I'm eating. He'll look it up himself. You know what I'm saying? He'll look it up. And then we'll sit there, have a discussion. He'll look up everything that's in it, like as far as the carbs, what I've been eating, if it's bad for you or not. So basically, from what he telling me, man, like, and I've been almost with him for almost 3 years now, and sugar is like the number one killer for everybody, man. He said salt's not bad for you. A lot of people think salt's bad for you, but I know this for a fact. Like, we get keto cramps. It's like a regular cramp. I don't know where regular cramps come from, but with the keto cramps, it's like your body lacking sugar. I mean, your body's lacking salt. So in order to get rid of the cramp, we got to eat salt just to get rid of the cramp because your body needs salt. People think that it's bad for you, but salt and sugar together is bad for you. And that's what clogs up your arteries and stuff like that. That's the main reason why I guess the keto diet is based on how it is. And we've been on it for a year and a half now. And during the holidays we can pretty much cheat and eat what we want to eat. But then after that, you gotta get back on track and you can feel it. Like, we've been doing it almost 3 years now. A year, well, no, about a year and a half we've been doing it, and you could just tell the difference. You know what I'm saying? Both our levels is back normal. And just like you were saying earlier, like, they know certain ways, to go on and get the shit up out of here, but it just is bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? But just like my doctor told me, say, how people's addicted to drugs and like cocaine, that's how sugar is. And if you're not strong enough to break that will to get away from it, he said it has the same like stigmatism like as cocaine. If you use on cocaine or crack or something, it has the same effect, sugar. But if you know by not drinking the sugar or eating it that you're gonna feel that you're gonna get better, and you can just put your mind to it and do that, then you'll see for yourself. But he said that's the biggest problem that everybody have is actually doing it. You could say you could do it all day, but you ain't gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Or you gonna make up some kind of excuse or something. But if from my from what me and my lady been through, we've been through it, so we know it's basically a mind thing. If you want to do it or not. If you want to do it, I promise you, just like Miss TA, she had her own way in doing it. I'm glad we agreed on something far as the water, because you need water. You know what I'm saying? So I know that's number one thing, water. You need that. You got to drink that every day if you want your body to even somewhat try to function right. You need that water. So, I'm proud of you for drinking that water. But what my doctor told me is basically stay away just from sugar and carbs. Anything that could turn, yes, carbs turn into sugar. So basically just stay away from the sugar in the carbs, man. And not saying just go to cold turkey, but even if you could just cut out like sodas and stuff like that. Sodas got a lot of sugar. It's a lot of different breads and other stuff that got carbs. So a lot of people don't know carbs turn into sugar, and you're only supposed to have like I think it's 3 grams of carbs make 1 gram of sugar or something like that. So you just got to watch your sugar count, man. And if you can, just stay away from just like stress. Just cut down on sugar, and I promise you, you'll see, the difference. If you're drinking your water, I'm not saying just stop cold turkey and just, don't eat no sugar, but if you can wind yourself down and you can like take a note or make a note somewhere. Okay, I'm gonna try to do it this way for 30 days and just see how your body feels. Just try it. You know what I'm saying? It's basically a mind thing, man. It's a lot of people that quit smoking cigarettes and stuff like that out here, but I can't do it. I can't fix my mind to do it because I'm not strong like that. But I could do the diet, so it goes either
Either.
way. It's just according to if you want to do it or not, man. And you know, just drink. You gotta drink your water though, and it's 2024, man. There's a lot of stuff going on. Ain't nobody getting no younger, so stop making excuses and at least try it. Try it for 30 days. Do something. You know what I'm saying? And before you just say, okay, this ain't gonna work for me. If you try it I promise you, if you try it right the first 30 days, you will immediately see the difference in how you feel, the energy you have, everything. Waking up in the morning to going to sleep to using the bathroom like you're supposed to. It'll make you want to keep doing it because you just keep feeling better, and you know that when you're doing too much, your body will tell you. You know what I'm saying, and you don't want to feel like that no more. Just like I'm to the point right now where my body is the other way around. Like how we used to see them donuts, and we see I want the Sprite and I want the Skittles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now I'm to the point where I want a Propel. I want a water. Give me a water. Uh, I might eat a bag of chips every now and then, but it's water. I'll stay away from sugary stuff like that. So it just it makes your body do the if you do it long enough, you do it right. Just make your body do the opposite of what what you're doing now. Just what I'm saying, without the harmful stuff, and you could be able to stay on Earth a little bit longer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So me and ATL, we had different approaches, and we believe, I think, in mostly the same stuff. Sugar has been called a drug worse than heroin in America, at least, and it accounts for a lot of obesity in America or in the Western world. Americans are way more obese to the point that they had to change the guidelines for what's normal blood pressure. I lived long enough to know that 120 over 60 was perfect blood pressure. Now it's not that. They didn't raise the numbers to accommodate the obesity problem that we have in America.
Mm-hmm.
I would say salt, you have to have salt in your diet. It's as important as water and sunlight. We are no different than plants in that respect. We have to have that. I don't know about salt for plants, but water and sunlight, every living organism on this earth must have that. But salt you get by way of vitamin D. I don't know if a lot of people knew that. If you got adequate amount of vitamin D, you will have adequate amount of salt. Now, a salt that you could put on your foods that don't become a danger to you will be real salt. It's a thing about these foods that we eat is real, and then it's the fake foods. The fake foods are harmful for you. The real foods are good for you, no
Yep.
matter what they consist of. So for me, I believe in real sugar. I don't believe in fake sugar. And most processed foods, I understand why ATL say stay away from sugar, because most processed food and most foods that you'll find in your grocery store are consistent in abundance of fake sugar. And you do want to stay away from that. But if you're eating some kale, not that I'll tell y'all to eat it, because I won't eat that shit myself unless I cut it with pineapple. I'll juice that shit, but I ain't eating it. But if you ate, let's say you ate a bowl full of kale, that's going to have sugar in it. If you eat meat, as I said before, you can eat whatever. It don't matter what you eat on this earth. And this is what we probably different, ATL. Um, Everything turns into sugar, not just carbs. Everything. That's how people get fat. You eat a diet full of KFC, Bojangles, and Popeyes, and all these fast food places and Subways and the Jersey Mikes and the motherfucking other fast food restaurants and all that burgers and shit. That food is not real food. Some of it's real. You get a burger with lettuce, tomato, and onions on it. That lettuce, tomato, and onion good for you. But that bread with that burger and that cheese, nah. You just mix two some good items with a bad item. And
Mm-hmm.
but all of that, when it gets broken down in your body and goes through the digestive tract and then goes through the small intestine, get broken down to its nutrients, some of it's real, some of it's fake. The real stuff can't hurt you, but they all turn to sugar. But there's a such thing as real sugar and fake sugar. In fact, here's a test that everybody can go do. Go get some, I think it's called agave. Go get some real sugar. Like you really gotta ask for the real sugar. Like go get real motherfucking sugar. And then try to, like, you could take a waffle and get real maple syrup and get that Aunt Jemima syrup. I don't mean to call you out, Aunt Jemima. I like you too. But I guarantee you, you pour less maple syrup on your waffle than you would Aunt Jemima. Because if you pour the same amount of maple syrup on your waffle as you do Aunt Jemima, that shit gonna be trash. Because it's almost like taking a teaspoon of salt and iodized, the white iodized salt, and tasting it. Your mouth will be like sucking in like you sucked on a lemon or something. Because real sugar, you can't eat it in abundance. It's no way possible. I've tried it. That's an experiment that everybody can go do. It's cheap. If you don't believe me, I believe in show and tell. Go do that experiment. Go find you some real sugar. Just because they say brown sugar don't mean it's real. A lot of times you go in there, you get rice. Rice supposed to be good for you because it comes out the ground. But did you know what they do with rice these days? They don't make enough, so they take one molecule out of it, and the rice we eat half the time is one molecule away from plastic. That country crock butter that I love to death, I love to put that shit on my food. uh yeah, that's one molecule away from plastic too. But you can digest it. It is some nutrients in it, but it's not the kind that your body prefers or wants or can absorb. So you must have good vitamin D. The body is a complex entity. It has a lot of moving parts. You want your vitamin D to be up, because if you falter on that, you're going to mess up your whole system from absorbing things. But how do you get the nutrients in your cell? How do you convert T4 into T3? Usable metabolism. You have to be able to absorb these things in your body. But if they're fake, or you don't have the storage or whatever, it's going to do like a domino effect. So when it comes to salt, that's called, another word for salt is calcium. I know. Look it up. It's another name for salt. I'm going to give you a history lesson. Most historical old cities from way, way centuries ago were founded on salt mines. That's where people naturally gravitated to and settled down, because you need salt. New York is a natural salt mine. Cities in England that end with which, the name ends with which. I can't think of a couple of cities in England, but if the name of it ends in the word which or whatever, um, that is a salt mine too. Old cities, they're known because they were developed over
Hey,
top of
Miss
salt
T,
mines. Yeah.
if my phone cut off, I don't think I just got out my. I don't know why my shit ain't charging on the charger, but it's on like 1%. So I ain't want to be rude.
Okay. Cool. So if you want a healthy dose of salt, you need to make sure your vitamin D is up. What's the best way to get vitamin D? Not milk. Not milk, y'all. It's going out in that sun. The darker you are, the longer you got to be out there. Noah GX is in the building. What's popping, King? He said, teach queen. Meat. A lot of people think that's the only way you're going to get protein. Some of your largest mammals on earth are grazers. They don't eat meat. Imagine, have you ever heard of a giraffe mowing you down for to eat you up? Or an elephant mowing you down for to eat you up? Now, I ain't saying they won't mow you down, because animals like to get violent. A hippo, the most violent animal out there. Hippo attack everybody. They fuck everybody up, and they kill just to be killing. I think hippos are serial killers, to be honest. But they don't eat you. Not at all. They'll kill you. Gorillas. Noah GX is right.
You know,
Gorillas.
crazy.
Gorillas. Now, I had this debate with somebody on here before. They said gorillas can't eat meat. Just because you can do something, don't mean that you should do something. Meat in itself is acidic. And if you know anything about the pH balance, that's a good start. I will point you to any article or book that breaks down the importance of pH balance in your body. An acidic body is a sick body. Cancer, diabetes, all these type of illnesses, they exist in acidic bodies. They do not exist in neutral bodies or alkaline, because the number you should shoot for is 7.35. The body is a balancing act. You don't want to be too acidic. You don't want to be acidic at all, but you don't want to be too alkaline. So 7.35 is a good 7 or 7.35 is a good number to have as a pH balance. A lot of people don't know that your body will borrow from Peter and to pay Paul when it comes to your pH balance. It will take from a good organ, a good nutritional base in your body, or something that's working in your body, just to make sure your body is balanced pH wise. So an acidic body is a sick body. This is where all diseases and ailments flourish. They flourish. So meat is an acidic thing. When you eat that cheeseburger, that ground beef that they tell y'all red meat supposed to give you iron, I don't care what they tell you that gives you whatever type of nutrients, all of those can be found in food that come from the ground. Okay, a potato is just like a multivitamin. If you pop a multivitamin, that potato has the same shit in it that a multivitamin. If you think about it, how do man, when I say man or woman, how do mankind make medicine to do XYZ for your body if they never saw it happen naturally? So it would behoove a lot of people to start studying the type of foods you eat. That's a daunting task. It's tiresome. It's time consuming. And you can't remember. That ain't nothing you're going to remember easily because it's so much. You know what I'm saying? I spent years studying food, so I know what food to pick. And then sugar. As he says, sugar is bad. Sugar is known as, like I said, it is classified like a heroin drug. It's worse than heroin. Cigarettes are worse than heroin. But as you say, you can't stop smoking. I smoke my little cigars in my tree. I can't neither. But sugar is bad for you if it's fake. That's what I want y'all to remember. If it's fake, it is terrible for you. So when ATL say stay away from the sugars, he might not have said, hey, stay away from the fake sugar. But that's pretty much, it's got to be what he mean. I have to ask him, do you mean that? Do you mean fake sugar versus real sugar, ATL?
Huh?
Do you mean when you say stay away from the sugars, do you mean fake sugar versus the real sugar?
I mean sugar, period.
Okay, so that's where me and him differ, because you can look up any medical record or book that you want, and you will learn that the body runs off of sugar, especially the brain. It don't run off of nothing else. But if you take into consideration that everything you eat turns to sugar, that's understandable. It just won't, your body won't absorb or use fake sugar. That turns to fat if it don't get excreted out your butt. You know what I'm saying? If you don't poop it out, it'll linger in your body as fat, adipose tissue. And that's why it's hard for people to lose weight. Like you eat a slice of bread and you sitting up there, like America leads the way in labeling their foods, but an omission is a lie too. I started my podcast saying that omission is a lie. And so when you when you go on these diets and you try to count calories and stuff, and you be like, but I'm cutting back this and I'm cutting back that. The truth of the matter is, it's not your fault. They didn't put every sugar that they put in this item on the label. They don't have to. They put just enough. And so how can you count calories or only, as he say, 3 grams per sugar, whatever? How can you count that if you don't know all the sugars that's in that slice of bread? That's why a lot of people fail in diets. Women, a lot of men like to think that women ain't strong enough or they quit too easily. And I would say I can see why men would say that, but I know different. What it is women were never told or explained thoroughly that we know that we design differently from men, but we're never told that we are not going to get results like men. A man can go in the gym, start lifting weights, and you'll start seeing changes automatically because of the abundance of type of hormones that they have. And we have a small amount of testosterone. They have an abundance. Women can't do that. You are designed to carry around fat because you're designed to carry around children. It doesn't matter if you never have a child in your life. That's how you're designed. So your body as a woman is going to be anti getting rid of fat. It's always going to be resistant to getting rid of fat. I don't care how small a woman is to how big she is. Your body is going to be anti getting rid of fats. So if a woman go in and do the same exercise with the man, and he starts seeing results in 2 weeks, but she don't see shit. Now it's a month she in the gym. She still don't see shit. She tired. She feel the aches and pains of working out, but she ain't getting no results. The man is feeling the aches and pains of working out, but he's getting the results. So he's more happier. He has something that motivates him to keep going because he see the change. She feel like, why the fuck am I keep doing this? All I'm getting is misery. So that's why women stop. And I would submit to you that if men went through that same thing, they would stop too. But let me tell y'all women, it takes about 8 weeks for you to conquer that resistance. Some women longer, but for you to conquer that resistance of trying to hold on to fat. Take about 8 weeks. After about 8 weeks of powerhousing it in the gym, you too will start seeing results. And then you always have to shock your body more so than men. That means you do 4 exercises this way. The next week, change up the direction of the exercise, add more resistance, whatever the case, shock your body. And you will start seeing shit peel off too. But it ain't gonna come in 2 weeks. It ain't gonna come in 4 weeks. It won't come in 6 weeks. Now every woman different. Some people it would take 12 weeks before they see it. The thing is you just keep going. Because once you reach approximately about the 8 week mark, you're gonna start seeing difference and results just like the men. Noah says packaged shredded salads are cut with plastic. See? I didn't even know that. They are feeding us bullshit foods. When I was eating meat, like if I ate a chicken, I always pick traditional. I'm not eating no chicken that's coming in a little circle because I don't know what the fuck that is. That could be rat meat, horse meat. I don't fucking know. So I'm gonna eat the tradition. I need to see that it once was a chicken. But if you look at kids and you don't corrupt them and you let them just be them, when kids are young, they don't want to eat meat. Sometimes you got a hungry kid. Like I got one nephew, he always was down for the food. But my daughter and other kids that I seen, I was the one pushing the meat on them because I was like, you got to eat, girl. Eat, eat. I'm getting frustrated because I'm like, why is you not eating? If I ask her, I say, girl, what you want to eat tonight? Spinach? Spinach? Hell no, we ain't eating no spinach. I'm trying to give her what I like. And she didn't want no parts of it. And she was healthier. She was very slender. Uh, she preferred fruits and vegetables, and I should have left her like that. But I had to have my way. It took her to be almost 8 years old before my daughter would eat a cheeseburger. And I'm the one that pushed it on her. I'm so sad that I did that back then, but I didn't know. I was unknowledgeable about how things work. So what I hope y'all leave here with is understanding how the body functions. You can look up any medical journal and you will hear, or you can listen to a YouTube, or you can read it. All body cells take in fuel by way of sugar. It don't mean that they ate sugar. A cheeseburger, last time I checked, don't taste like sugar. You don't put sugar on a cheeseburger. But when it's broken down, cheeseburger, pizza, chicken, whatever, when it's broken down into sugars. Either your body is going to absorb it and use it as fuel, or it's going to reject it and turn it into fat. You be the judge. But I will tell you, when it comes to diabetes, a lot of people carry it in their stomach. You see these people, I don't know if you've seen this, ATL. You see these people out here with the regular size arms and legs, but they got a big belly. Yeah,
Yeah, you know these new dudes getting BBLs too.
yeah.
Yeah,
They can't. If you get rid of the fat belly, you'll get rid of diabetes. So, to what ATL was saying, he took the approach of going on the keto diet and all this stuff. We know that if you eat nothing but meats, you put yourself in a condition called ketosis, lipolysis. I hope I
exactly.
said that right.
Yeah, you said
That
it closest. You said it right.
that that is a condition that you can go into where your body is just eating fat and eating everything. But it's dangerous in the long run because you have to mix it up. You have to throw some veggies in there.
No, it's meat and vegetables.
Okay, yeah, that's the new age one.
Yeah,
When I
yeah.
was in my 20s, it was just simply called the Atkins diet. When people have a goal to just lose weight, that's what they were saying. But everybody knew the truth. I don't know. You have to ask the doctors. Like, next time you get a doctor in front of you, put the microphone in their face and ask them why y'all don't tell people the truth. And
I'm
then
honestly, I'm
some of
honestly,
them
I'm,
don't
I'm on a,
know.
I'm on a carnivore diet right now.
Yeah, see, I can't do that.
That's straight meat.
Yeah, I can't do that. That's the Atkins diet. That's the old school Atkins diet. But everybody was up in arms because the doctors know that that was bad for you back then. And I'm telling you, it was popular as hell. When I was in my mid 20s, oh, that diet was popular as hell. But anybody who lived back then in the 90s, who was in their 20s back then, you already knew what they were saying about the Atkins diet. And then it changed a little bit. The new age Atkins diets includes veggies and fruits and
Now
all that
I'm
stuff,
going
more
back.
so
I'm
meat.
I'm going back to the keto, but I told my doctor I think I was losing too much weight, so he put me on this, so I gained about 18 pounds. So I'm
Mm.
finna go back on the keto. I'm just finna hit the gym. I've been hitting the gym with it, working
But
out.
a
So
but a healthy diet,
yeah, yeah.
a healthy diet will get you fit without a lick of exercise. A lot of people think you got to do exercise. You want to do exercise so you don't get atrophy. So
Now you
because
know I box
that brings
anyway, so
a whole.
I want to just get my body back home.
But a
I,
healthy
I just
diet,
want
like,
a little bit more weight.
yeah, like you don't have to exercise, and that's a medical fact. But I'm not ever suggesting that you don't, because you can get shit like atrophy, which is not good, and don't feel good either. It's like almost being somewhat paralyzed. You don't want to go through that. Um, you want to be active and moving around and stuff like that, but you don't need exercises to lose weight. People can you heard of juicing,
Yeah.
which I'm a big advocate for. I've done it myself. If I wasn't so sick with the allergies and shit, man, I would have already reached my goal. But now that I've conquered diabetes, and I'm gonna call it like that. One, in the future, I'm gonna always consider myself a diabetic, like an alcoholic considers himself or herself an alcoholic, even though they may not drink. I'm gonna always consider myself diabetic, so that way I can always choose the right foods. Two, I talked about the sensor that you can put in your arm. Let me tell you something. A lot of insurance companies do not cover that sensor. If when I first bought one last year, it was $75. Now they like $35, and worth every penny. You hear me? It's worth every penny
Oh yeah.
because it will tell you, because you can't see inside your body. It will tell you what your body like versus what it don't like. You know what I'm saying? And all you got to do is eat that one thing, check your blood sugar, whether you diabetic or not, and watch how the spike go up. Because they will tell you, you shouldn't be, even if you're not diabetic. What makes people gain a lot of weight and become obese is because they have high spikes of sugars when they eat, and then it drops down like a steep drop. And that's just not, that's like if we're gonna put it in boxing terms, that's like getting down to your weight for the weigh-in, blowing up for rehydration, and in between fights blowing the fuck up even more, and then coming back down, that yo-yo shit. That shit makes people get out of shape as well. But people who juice, they don't have no problems. I lost 39 pounds in 3 weeks juicing. Shit works. All I ate was raw fruits and vegetables, but I juiced it because I can't eat it. So I juiced it and I drank it. It was easier to do for me than to eat the shit. Raw fruits and vegetables, and I lost all that weight. And I was getting healthier. I felt better. My skin was better. My rashes, my eczema rashes disappeared. I could see clearer. I could hear better. Everything elevated to the good
I
when
told
I
you.
did that shit. Juicing though, there was no meat. There was no meat. You know, I've been on this kick with not eating meat. Let me tell you, I got a little brother. We was teenagers. He's 3 years younger than me. I remember when he swore off meat way back then. I thought it was stupid for him because he's a big dude. He's naturally a husky dude, you know, football looking, playing fullback looking dude, whatever. And I'm like, nigga, how you gonna eat to fill your big ass up? You know, like what you gonna eat? That fucking the carbs you eating, you just killing yourself eating all this sweets and blah 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 blah. That's what I was saying. But guess what? Who laughing now? This nigga in shape. This nigga ain't got no diabetes, nothing. He healthy as an ox. Because it's been 30 years that this dude ain't been eating no meat. You eat the meat, you eat what's in the animal. If the animal know they going to slaughter, that adrenaline and shit that pump through them, you eating that shit. They got sores and all kinds of type of illnesses or diseases these animals have. You eating that too, and they cover it up. You can't go wrong eating, fruits and vegetables. Now, in fruit, everything that comes from the ground is called a complex carb. Anything that's hybrid and mixed together and thrown together like grains and so your pastas and breads and shit, they put too much sugar and all that kind of shit to make that stuff. But anything that's just a one ingredient type food that just come from the ground as it is, those are considered complex carbs and they're supposed to be good for you. But this time around, I didn't eat no rice and I didn't eat no potatoes. And I eat rice with everything. Why? Because rice and potatoes, when you're talking complex carbs, they might as well be the cake. They might as well be the cake and the pie and the cookies of good, healthy eating because those foods will put weight on you. That's why your body has a backup in exercising. Your body is resilient. It has a backup to the backup. It always do. So in the end of the day, you guys, I absolutely did beat diabetes and I did it in 3 months.
Hey, congratulations.
Thank you. I didn't want to tell y'all. I didn't want to talk about it and profess it and
You
not
want to do
complete.
it.
I wanted to do it. This is me. Everybody can see. Right before I got the diabetes, you see, you even see the rashes on my face. I stopped coming on here live, like showing my face, because I used to always show my face. You remember ATL, but I stopped doing that because I kept having allergy reactions, and I didn't want to be on camera. Just the vainness in me didn't want to be on camera, and showing when my lip is swollen or my face is swollen or whatever. But that is me right before I went into full blown diabetes. This is me today. There's a difference. Now, the only thing I can say, nigga, I am old. My skin, I was telling my other friend, my skin don't snap back like it. I can't do nothing but laugh. I'm blessed to see the years I've seen on this earth. But goddamn, boy, my skin ain't snapping back as quick as it used to. Boy, but y'all see the big difference?
Mm-hmm.
I lost 45 pounds in 3 months. And I can't attribute exercise to it because now my numbers ain't dropping off the scale. That's because I'm doing strength training. I'm lifting weights, and it's more than just tone. I want the weights. When you lift weights, your sugar drops, but you eat up adipose tissue, which is fat. That's what strength training do, and it's a form of cardio. Believe it or not. Yeah, we think cardio, we think running and jumping up and down. Lifting weights is cardio too. Anytime you flexing and pushing, like, because when you lift weights, you tightening your stomach and your core, you flexing. You can do exercise where all you do is flex and get in shape and knock off fat. So that's what it's a form of cardio. Not good for boxing, lifting weights, but I'm not a professional boxer, so that's why I'm doing it. But that was me this morning, getting my gym on. So that's all I have for y'all today. I thought it was a relevant conversation. Um, I practice what I preach. And like I said, I went from 13 A1C to 6.8, and my sugars hover around 80 to 90. And I'm talking fasting sugars, meaning before I eat on an empty stomach, my sugars are like in the 80s or the 90s. After I eat foods that only spike my sugar up to 150. And they tell you should stay between 80 and 180, period. But when you're fasting, meaning on an empty stomach, it should be between 80 and 120. I've reversed that shit. So I not only talk about it now, but I be about it. So I figure I share that with y'all. Y'all can take that information for what it's worth and connect the dots some kind of way. I hope that I connect the dots to you. And it's not your fault. It's designed to make you repeat customers of people's products. There's no money in a cure, but there's easy and quick cures. And fat diabetes hide in fat all the time. So even no matter how you lose weight, if you losing weight, you can get rid of diabetes. But what about the person who's already thin that's not fat? Because we got a lot of people out there that's thin and get diabetes. Now you got to come up with something else because you ain't gonna lose that much weight. That's why I say I favor my approach because it makes more sense. Again, I cut out 2 things: meat and dairy, and my shit bounced right back to normal. I was full blown diabetic.
Hey, nigga.
I went from 4 insulin shots that I had to give myself a night to none in 3 months. So you guys do the math, you add it up. But that's all I have. ATL, you got anything?
Nah, man, you know how we do it, man. Drink your water, stay away from sugar. That's my motto.
Okay. Read into it, look into stuff. That's my motto. learn how your body function. When you learn how your body function, you will make better decisions for you. And remember, everybody's an individual. So what works for one person might not necessarily work for the next person. But if you understand the functionality part of how your body is designed and how it's supposed to work, you can make a better choice for yourself. And certain foods will spike some people's sugars, and certain foods, those same foods, won't spike somebody else. Like I can tell you, cereals can never in my life eat them again. I will never eat them again. Drinking milk, I don't do that anyway. So, but unless I was eating cereal. So now milk is all the way out. I don't cook with milk. Like I'm one of the people, when I get hot chocolate, I said just water. I don't make my hot chocolate with no cream and no water. I mean, no milk. And it's boring, but I done got acquired to it. But I can't do the cream. And I can't do the milk, or else I'm going to be on that porcelain god praying. So I just say just water. And like I said, you're going to have to, like ATL said, you're going to have to learn how to just willpower that shit.
Exactly.
Smoking is hard for him. It's hard for me. I gave up cigarettes a long time ago in 2007, but I still smoke cigars on my trees. You know, and smoking is smoking. It ain't good no kind of way you slice it and dice it. But that's a hard one to give up right there. That one, that one is hard. But all this other shit, and like he also said, when he talking about drinking the prepared water, he said his body just prefer it. That's how you can train your body to just prefer the right shit.
Yeah.
And that sensor is going to help y'all with that. Because you wouldn't knowingly give yourself some bad juju. You wouldn't knowingly put nothing bad in your mouth. Knowingly. But how would you know? Because you can't see in the inside of your body. That's the beauty of this sensor. I don't think they made it to have that effect or for that purpose. But I swear that's everybody you talk to who wear them sensors in their arm. And it ain't hard to put on. It's real simple and easy. Everybody I know to put them shits on, they be saying, damn, I just learned that this type of food did this to me. Like I would have thought pasta would have did that for me. Mm-mm. Pasta only makes my sugar jump like 15 to 20 points. But milk and cereal, over 100 points. I guess I won't be eating cereal, waffles, none of that shit. I don't even care if it's real syrup on that jank. I'm not eating it. So, that's all I have. So, that's it for the day. My next time I come out, I'll probably be talking about boxing. There ain't much going on with the boxing world, so not to me anyway. A lot of fugaziness and bullshit. If Terrence Crawford fight Tim Tszyu, I'm cool. Whatever Terrence Crawford decide at this point, I'm cool with. I ain't pressed. Devin Haney, he's young. They're gonna blockade his ass. The motherfucker.
I'm thinking about doing a live tonight, man. I'm gonna hit you up. I'm gonna see if my stuff still work over here. If I can set it up, I want you on there with me. I'm just gonna be, talk about some boxing shit. Ain't nothing really.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I hopefully I'll be up, man, because I've been at the gym today, boy. I told y'all, look at that picture. I was serious. hard work and dedication, nigga.
Hey, that's what's up, though. You gotta get your health right.
Yeah. I was gonna walk outside, but I had to take it back inside. I was like, man, it's too cold out this bitch. I ain't never seen Georgia be this cold. Hey,
like we say back home, it's chilly dog out there, bitch.
Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna tell you, and that's a good thing though. In the long run, if you think about it, you might not like that brisk cold wind blowing on you, but if you don't have a proper winter, you ain't gonna get rid of the bad juju that came out during the year. You gotta have a winter to kill off some of this shit. Maybe we're gonna see how the Georgia spring is when that pollen come. Maybe it won't be as intense. We'll see. Because at this point, a sister got to lead the whole state for like a month and a half or 2 months.
For real.
Just to survive.
You got to go to Miami.
Nah, I go back home. I go back home. And it's pollen there too, but not as bad. I mean, the pollen here will have me in the hospital, Shawty, fighting for my life. That's why I gotta leave. Anytime you live a certain place and you gotta leave for over a month just so you don't get sick, that's crazy. That's another reason why I'm moving. I was like, man, I can't take this shit no more. But that's all I have. So we're gonna in my what is it? In the words of Pamela James. Peace.